What's up, everybody? Let me take just a second here. Let me just quickly say in my description of this video, there's, I think, how many? 1, 2, 3, 5 channels to sub to. All of them are trying to reach 50 subscribers so that they can go live. Hopefully that will work out. So if y'all could, please go ahead and sub to those channels down below. What's up, Neil? What's up, Alicia? So yeah, 5 channels in the description. And we'll look at them in a little bit as well and see if there's any content. Some of them are just completely brand new. So some of them don't have any content yet. But this is all part of that project live stream that Mel and Steve are helping channels get started so that they can take part. And yeah, one in particular, the top one that I listed, which is down there, it's Vegan Multitaskers. That's Calvin and his partner, I believe. They're right at the cusp with 48. And I wrote down because I am going to actually document this time, because we've done this before where a bunch of channels got tons of subscribers and then overnight they lost 1 billion subscribers. And I don't know what happened. So I've written down, I have written it down, how many subs they have. We're going to check it again at the end of this stream and see how many they have. And then that's going to go on record. And then we'll see what YouTube does. We'll see if YouTube has it out for the vegans. So what happened, Louis? Look, some of these names, by the way, some of the names in that list, you'll notice Grace, Joanne. We did this last time. So I know for a fact, because I kept refreshing Grace's, it got up to like 52. And now it's back down. Where is it now? 42. 10 sub, whatever. Bunch of subscribers were denied. Were suddenly stripped of subscribers for confusing reasons. We don't know. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, it happened to Alicia too. And not only that, but Alicia was up to 50, I believe, during the time of the live stream and was still denied. What? So anyway, I've got Jade pulled up here. Jade's been doing a lot of debating lately, and I've missed a lot of them, so I might as well check them out.
How do you feel about humans exploiting other animals? Hi, so how do you feel about humans exploiting other animals?
Well, I think it's wrong. I mean, I personally was raised on a meat diet growing up, but I feel like things have gotten out of control these days and just how much meat we consume. I feel like there needs to be some kind of oversight, especially when you think, sorry.
Yeah. So you agree that we should be respecting other animals?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
But can we actually truly respect somebody else if we are exploiting them for their flesh, their breast milk, their eggs, or any other selfish purpose?
Well, we shouldn't exploit them. That's the whole point. We should respect them. And like, I look at history, even before, we made the pill.
This is a big moment, guys. Waterloo keeps on releasing all these seasonal flavors. I've got raspberry nectarine right here. Waterloo, sponsor me. I'm giving you ad revenue or ad time, whatever. Free advertising on my channel. It's the first time I've ever tasted raspberry nectarine. Let's give it a try. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. My favorite has been one that was kind of like Sprite. I can't remember. It was a seasonal though. Oh, it was, what was it? Damn it. I don't know. Who cares? Y'all don't care. Anyway, raspberry nectarine, that's like an 8 out of 10. That's pretty good.
Pilgrimage from Europe, the Native Americans respected the land. So I feel like if we had that kind of mentality as a community overall, just, when you think of the government, the local government, just having a respect and personally, I feel like that would just be the best way to heal the land, so to speak, because I just feel like that's why so many people have health issues these days, because it's just they just pump so many chemicals into the meats. And also, I just feel like people in general consume way too much meat, and nobody really respects animals these days, personally, from my opinion.
Yeah. So do you know what the original definition of vegan is?
No.
The original definition of veganism is the ethical principle that us humans should live without exploiting other animals. So, of course, vegans don't exploit animals for their flesh, breast milk, eggs, fur, skin, entertainment, or any other selfish purpose. Do you feel like there's anything preventing you from being vegan?
Well, I mean, it would just be being able to train myself. My body is used to those kinds of dietary needs when it comes to having a certain amount of protein. But in terms of eating in excess of what my body doesn't need, I feel like that's just where a lot of people get carried away. And, you have problems with obesity, cancer rates are skyrocketing.
But do you think that you can get all of the nutrients that you need on a plant-based diet?
I believe you could, yes.
You absolutely can, yeah. So, I mean, there's really nothing preventing you, right, from being vegan?
Probably not. I just have never really thought about it personally. So
I gotcha. Well, that's what I'm here to do, to bring it to your attention and to be an advocate for the animals because they need us to stand up for them because they can't stand up for themselves. And do you know what the number one benefit of being vegan is?
no.
For the animals, it's that they're no longer being exploited and oppressed by you. And for you, you can say that you're against their exploitation and that you respect them, and you're not being a hypocrite.
Well, it's certainly something to consider. That would certainly be a very drastic change for me personally. But
Wow.
like I said, I've never thought about going vegan, but that might be something I could experiment with for a little while.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you were in your victim's position, how soon would you want this injustice to end? Immediately or eventually?
Well, any form of abuse, I would just be like, I instantly, obviously.
Right, or just exploitation in general, right?
Sure.
So, should the number of animals that are exploited because of you in your name, should that number be zero from now on, or should it be more than zero?
Obviously, it should be zero.
Yeah, so will you be vegan from now on, Michael?
I'll give it a try.
Okay, but I'm not giving you food for thought. I'm giving you a call to action because, if you were in the animal's position, you wouldn't want somebody to just try to stop
I like that. I'm not giving you food for thought. I'm giving you a call to action.
exploiting you, right? You would want them to decide to stop exploiting you.
Would you recommend any well, I guess are there any good leaders of that movement that you're part of that I could do they have any reading material or like YouTube videos where they discuss stuff like that in further detail?
Yes, But you know, I want you to know that the concept is very simple. Like, you already have a grasp of the concept. You agree that exploiting them is wrong. You agree that we should respect them. It's just a matter of aligning your actions with your beliefs. But you know, if you do want to learn more about it, you can watch Dominion documentary. It's free on YouTube. Dominion, Dominion. You can check out. There's an ethical speech that's like, I don't know. It's kind of old now. It's like 12 years old, but all of the points are still relevant. It's called "The Most Important Speech You'll Ever Hear," and it's on YouTube, and it's by Gary Yurovsky. But you know, like, you don't need any more information to decide to go vegan. Like, you can learn more, and it's an interesting topic to explore. But you don't really need any more information to decide to make this decision.
Yeah, it's just growing up and as an adult, I've never had any convictions about it. I mean, I have heard of people going vegan more and more nowadays, but I just never really looked into it myself personally. But yeah, what is it, Dominion documentary and the most important speech by who is it again?
Gary Yurovsky, spelled like Yourofsky. You're of Sky.
Okay.
Gary Yurovsky.
Yeah, I'll check them out. I mean, I don't really know anyone personally who's vegan myself, so it's just but yeah, I'd certainly like to look more into it. Just
Yeah.
before crossing with you, I've never really like looked into it personally, like dive deep into it. So, but I appreciate
Yeah.
you guiding me in the right direction.
And do you
I like Michael's open-mindedness. Seems like, I don't know. This is a two-parter, by the way. Part 1, part 2. I don't know if we're just going to get into like the logistics or something, because I feel like he's already there pretty much. But I like that she's like pressing to make sure it's not just like something he's going to think about.
agree that we should be standing up for other animals that can't stand up for themselves?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, so don't just be vegan, but also stand up for the animals,
Oh,
because
nice.
they're dependent on us to liberate them from their oppression. Right now, we are
So she's going like, you should be an activist as well.
oppressing them, and they need us to stand up for them. So don't just be vegan, but do what you can to stand up for them. And there's so many different ways that you can stand up for them. You know, there's like an infinite amount of ways that you can be an advocate for them. And you know, like, when you're deciding, this is a justice movement. You know, this is like the next big justice movement to liberate these animals. And by deciding to go vegan or being on the right side of history, you're also just not being a hypocrite anymore. You're aligning your actions with your beliefs.
Well, like when I like purchase eggs from like a regular grocery store, and like if I purchase them from like a local farmer, you can see the difference in the yolk. Just the chickens are happier in essence when you buy them locally as
So this is something I might have said maybe in the past too, but it seems nonsensical now that you would be able to tell from looking at the yolk that the animal was happy. If that sounds nonsensical, it's because it is nonsensical.
compared to like from a corporation style business.
But
Like
Michael,
when I see like a truck with chickens locked up in these small little cages from the point of birth practically to their death, like that's just horrible.
right, but Michael, but what if you were a female and you were being farmed and exploited for your ovulation cycle?
Well, yeah, no,
It
I
wouldn't really
yeah.
matter if you were on a small local farm or whatever, like, because it's always wrong and it's always slavery and exploitation.
Yeah, no, I
Just
never
a
thought
small local women's period farm. That's it. It's fine. Jade, what's the problem with that?
about it like that. But yeah, no, there's I believe these corporations that are just for profit only, and they don't care at all about the animals or even about people. I just feel like
Yeah.
that's evil, that's wrong.
Yeah,
And
if they cared about
yeah,
the animals, they wouldn't be exploiting the animals. You
right.
know, it doesn't, I'm not here to advocate for welfare. of the animals. I'm here to advocate for total liberation.
I think, sorry to answer your question, Alicia. Question was, is it an overreach to not only ask a person to change to be vegan and be an activist, or just a great pitch? I think she's just reading this person and she's tailoring her message to him, because this guy already seems to get it. And I think by telling this guy, I don't think there's like one right answer to this question, but by telling this guy, yeah, it's not really just about vegan, but you could stand up for these animals. She's sort of driving home the point that this isn't about a diet, that this is actually, as she's pointed out a few times, a justice issue. And yeah, I think she has high hopes for this guy, as I would too, so far, by the way he's responding. And yeah, I agree. I think she has a very disarming manner about her, and uses it to her ability.
Of the animals. And this is all based on conditioning. It's all completely conditioning, because every female has eggs. Every single female has eggs, but we've been conditioned to see chickens' eggs as our resource. When we see any other nest with eggs, like outside, we don't think that's mine, I'll take it. We only think that with chickens, and it's completely conditioning. Same with any other female that has breast milk. We don't think, oh, that's mine, I take it. We think it with cows, because we've been conditioned to think like that.
Well, technically, any animal's milk is designed for their offspring.
Right.
Of course, when you think of any kind of animal that gets older, like a carnivorous animal that goes out and just tries to survive. Now that's understandable. Like the Native Americans, for instance, like obviously they couldn't survive on plants and stuff during like the brutal winters when you can't grow anything. And
right, but you can, right? We're living in 2025.
Well, yes,
you
yes,
can, right?
yes, absolutely. But
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely take a look at all of this information. Gary Yourofsky, the most important speech.
I mean, look at it if you want, but like I've given you all the information that you need. I think you have a clear understanding of veganism and why it's important and why it's wrong to exploit other animals. So what do you think, Michael? Will you be vegan from now on and stop exploiting them?
Nice.
I can't make any promises immediately, but
Well,
I'm glad I was able to make a connection with you.
You actually can, Michael. It's a simple decision. You either choose to continue to exploit and oppress.
I think it's a really great sign, though, that he's kind of thirsty for knowledge. He's seeking out. He clearly like wrote down the speech. He'll watch the documentary.
Other animals, or you decide to go vegan and no longer be the reason they're being exploited and oppressed. But until you decide to go vegan, you are the reason.
Well, what would I eat exactly if I went vegan?
I mean, I'm not here to advocate for your diet. Like, you have the world of information at your fingertips. Like, you can look stuff up. If you want to get in contact with a nutritionalist, I can get you in contact with one. Challenge22.com, challenge and the number 22.com. That's a team of experienced plant-based dieters and registered nutritionalists that can help you with whatever. But honestly, you can use like ChatGPT and Google and be like, hey, I love eating this thing, how can I make it vegan? And they'll tell you. You can be like, hey, can you give me some plant-based recipe ideas? And they'll give you them. And then you can be like, hey, can you give me a shopping list for these ideas? And they will. But I would recommend eating what you like. Like, you don't have to really change anything. If you like eating burgers a lot, keep on eating burgers, just get vegan burgers. If you like Mexican food, keep on eating Mexican food, just don't use animal products. And, maybe like use what you have in your fridge. If you feel like you need to transition, use what you have in your fridge. And then when you run out of it, just replace it with a vegan product.
Yeah, like I used to work with a Wisconsin dairy farmer down in Florida. We did tree work together. But yeah, he had that Wisconsin accent, but he loved milk himself personally. But I mean, I like a good charcuterie board with some meats and cheeses, but obviously, like
Yeah, I do
something,
too. You can
yeah.
do it with vegan meat and
Yeah, I've honestly probably had more, just because like people like to go to the nice restaurants when you travel around and stuff. So I feel like I've had more charcuterie type things as a vegan than I did before. Um, yeah. Vegan cheese is there. It's already there. We've already got the cheese down. It's perfect. Uh, Sometimes the things that are less perfect, in my opinion, are the cheese on pizzas. But I've had some of the best pizzas I've ever had in my life have been vegan ones, but it's often messed up. Um, the frozen ones. My favorite of the frozen is the Amy's Vegan Supreme. That one's solid. That's kind of all I get in terms of like frozen pizzas anymore. I used to have others that I got, but pizzas in restaurants that have been vegan have been fire. Chris, what's up? Guys, everybody check out the description on my channel. And there's 5 channels that I'm trying to help reach the 50 sub threshold so that they can go live and take part in Project Live Stream. So they're in the description of this video. They are Vegan Fairy on Earth, Protein Deficient Vegan, Vegan Multitaskers, Joanne Carey, and Grace Plant. Now, I know, I'm going to refresh them again. I know we can hit 50 for at least a few of these. The question is, are they going to stay at 50, or is YouTube going to take away all their subs like they did last time for some reason? Don't get it. But Vegan Multitaskers is sitting at 48, 49 now. So they're one away. We can obviously get Calvin there. Calvin, by the way, a great animal rights photographer and investigator. Definitely somebody to support. And I think Vegan Multitaskers is kind of the fam. I think it's him and his wife, maybe. I don't know. We'll take a look at these channels in a minute. Yeah, you want to get them above 50 because it drops like it did with all these things. Oh, you're not muted, Dennis. Sorry, I just was trying to plug the channels, but nice to see you, Dennis. Officially, are you leaving? Okay. All right. Sounds good, Dennis. Well, that's an official goodbye, I suppose. You'll be welcome back when you decide to come back, Dennis. I hope you'll look more at the vegan stuff.
vegan cheese,
Sure.
And the only difference is that you're not exploiting an animal. Like somebody doesn't have to die for it. Somebody's not being exploited to death for it. But it's like the same thing, just without that, which is
Well,
clearly not in line with your
yeah,
morals.
yeah. I'll have to give vegan meat a try. I've never tried it before, but yeah, that might be something I'll check out at the grocery store.
Yeah, and like if you like there's just like all other food, there's good ones and there's bad ones. So if you don't like one that you try, don't see that as an excuse to go and exploit animals. Just try a different one because there's lots of different ones that you can try. And yeah, if you don't like one, don't see that as a good excuse to go and exploit somebody to death, right?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, like I work hard for a living, with the kind of work I do, and obviously I require a certain amount of protein, so that would be the only issue that I would have to look into in terms of meeting
Yeah,
those
it's
needs
not
with
hard.
a vegan style diet.
Yeah, it's not hard. You know, I've been vegan for the last 8 years, and protein is the least of my concerns because every single plant has protein in it. But you could learn this yourself. You could look this up and figure it out yourself. But I'm telling you, like,
Also, the vegan meats that he's talking about are like loaded with protein. So just start out with that. Like she said, if you like burgers, get a Beyond Burger and then check the label and see how much protein is in a Beyond Burger. It's comparable, if not more, protein because they can tweak. The thing about the meat is the meat. It just is what it is. The vegan companies can keep improving and add nutrients here and there. It's awesome.
it's very easy to live vegan. It's hard to be exploited to death, right? It's hard to be viewed as a resource and enslaved and
What up,
commodified.
Jake?
It's easy to be vegan.
Well, I will try. I will make that commitment right now. If
Yeah.
I end up falling back into eating meat for one reason or another, but hopefully,
Well, but how
I
would you
could.
feel about that if you were in your victim's position? Would you want somebody to be like, "Oh, I'll try to stop exploiting them to death,
Yeah.
and if I decide to exploit them to death, then this"? You
I
don't
mean,
sound very solid in the
part
decision.
two.
no, I certainly don't approve of exploiting any animal whatsoever. But I've
Okay,
never really
good.
thought
You're
about it
vegan.
like that.
Align your actions with your.
You're vegan now, Michael. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Michael. All right, let's do a quick let's quickly go through some of these channels here. We got Joanne Carey right here. Everybody sub to Joanne Carey. And by the way, the point of this is so that they can reach 50. So some of these channels don't have any content yet, but they want to reach 50 subs so that they can go live, which apparently is a threshold to going live, so that they can take part in the project live stream, which is the Mel and Steve initiative of like everybody standing out in front of slaughterhouses in a coordinated effort, which is cool. So there's Joanne Carey. All right, let's see what we did. There's one more. Let's hope it's these grow. All right, here is vegan multitaskers, and this is Calvin, who is part of that whole crew. Do y'all remember Colin, yeah, do y'all remember the Colin video? We've done we've had Colin Pink Hines on this channel before, and he's the brother of Chris Hines, and he, along with Mel and Steve, went onto a pig farm, and he was not vegan at the time, went on there to kind of see it for himself. This was this whole like, let's take Colin onto the pig farm. Well, Calvin was also part of that team. Nice. Let's see. And yeah, 51 now. So last time we were celebrating, but then overnight all these channels dipped like 10, 20 subs for some reason. No idea why. Okay, here's another one. Oh wait, you know what? There's some content on this one. Let's check it out. Here's one that's brand new.
What's up? We are at Vegan Camp Out. We are all set up.
Peter approved. Okay, just edit that out.
Yeah, we're gonna go have some fun.
Oh wait. I guess it's okay to use the music, right? He's using it. I guess it's fine. I don't know. Tash, David Rams. We see Mel and Steve. I don't know who that might have been. Cranky Vegan, maybe? Or him? I don't know. We got him. All right. Well, there's vegan multitaskers. All right. Here's another one that's obviously brand spanking new. Protein deficiency. No videos yet. Let me put this in there. Sounds like upbeat no copyright.mp3. Glad you knew that one. Here's the protein deficient vegan. We got to help this guy because he's suffering from protein deficiency, as you can see. So let's try to boost him up. No content on that one. Let's see where we're at. 11, 14. Nice. By the way, I've written the starting point for all these channels because we're going to document it this time. Okay. Here's another one. Another brand new channel, no content. Vegan Fairy on Earth. Sitting at 18 right now. See how we do. Fairy was at 17 when we started. It's at 18 now. Let's see where we're at now. 22. Nice. I'd like to celebrate these things, but I already know that it could be undone somehow. And once again, we've got Grace Plant, who we had over 50, now at 42. She was already over, so I know we're probably going to get her fewer subs because I think we've done this before with Grace. Well, we've done this before. What I mean is, I don't know how many of y'all were here, but a lot of y'all were here. So Grace was at 42 when we started, still at 42. Let's see where she's landing now, 43. Yeah, I think we were going to get fewer for Grace because we've already done it. But yeah. Be nice to see this just keep on expanding and expanding. It's cool. The first project live stream was like 7 people, I think, maybe more. But then the second one was like 20 some people. That's a pretty good exponential growth right there. Joanne Carey sitting at 20. Let's see. Vegan multitaskers at 53. But I mean, they should that should be enough. We'll see. Protein deficiency sitting at 14. We were at 10 at the beginning. Where are we at now? 15. So it looks like we're getting people about 5 subs. Vegan Fairy on Earth was at 17. We got her 5 so far. Let's see where we're at now. 23. She got 6. Someone liked Vegan Fairy on Earth more than the others, I suppose. Probably some mythical creatures out there watching the stream right now that are very pro-fairy. and Grace got to 44. All right. Well, we'll do it again later if we're still if we still have good numbers. Let's check out part 2 with Michael here. Trade for Justice. Is this the same conversation or what? Or this? It must be same T-shirt. So. Yeah. Oh wait. Sorry, I didn't share. Share this time. There we go.
I'm the kind of guy that really wouldn't even harm a fly personally. I just open up the window and shoo them out. That's where they want to be anyways. So it's just like when I think of slaughtering any kind of animal, I myself have never done that personally. But obviously, like you're saying,
we'll do the channels again at the end of the stream.
You know, by buying meat products, I'm supporting that whole cycle.
Not only supporting it, but demanding for it, demanding that it happens.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
what do you think, Michael? How many more animals will you demand to be exploited for you? Are you going to be vegan from now on?
Sure.
Well,
I really will try. But
you don't need to try, Michael. You need to decide to do it. You don't need to try. It's very simple. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is certainly a radical change to just my lifestyle and way of thinking for sure. Like I said,
Yeah, but think about it from the victim's perspective. You're thinking about it from your human supremacy mindset. Think about it from the victim's perspective. The decision is easy when you're thinking about it from their perspective.
Right. Sure. Sure. I mean, I myself love life, as I'm sure any creature does. You know, so if I think about it from that perspective, I should just respect life. And when it comes to animals, you know, I feel like we should respect them like we respect ourselves, because we're
the same in all the ways that matter, right? The ability to suffer and feel pain, or feel joy and enjoy life.
Oh, absolutely, yes, yes.
The least that we could do is just be vegan, but I think it's also an obligation to stand up for these animals, because I mean, after I don't know, you've been exploiting animals your whole life. You've been victimizing them your whole life. Isn't the least that you could do is to live vegan and stand up for them when you can?
Well,
don't you owe it to them?
Well, I think we all do, really. I mean, we're all, living on this earth for a reason, and I feel like just things nowadays, especially when it comes to meat eating, it's just become a business, and it's just horrible, absolutely horrible.
What's up, Plants and Plates? I agree. She is really, really, really good at it. Yeah, it's just a disarming manner. Yeah, calling people my dear. This format really works well for her too, just like a calm one-on-one. True. Lambretta. By the way, is that how I say your name? I've seen people call you Brett or Bretta, or I am Bretta or Lambretta. I don't know. I just want to get it right.
What's going on nowadays? But
yeah, it is. So don't be the reason that it's happening anymore. Just be vegan from now on. Don't be the reason that it's happening anymore, Michael. And stand up for them too.
Well, thank you for your time. Is your name Jade?
My name is Jade, yes.
Michael, pleasure meeting you. And again, thank you for all of this new information. I think I'll definitely check out.
Michael, apparently you didn't get the memo. And we still have like 15 minutes to go. So don't try to duck out now.
Those folks on YouTube. And
yeah, did you get a chance to write it down? Do you want me to say it again?
Oh, well, you know what? That's probably a good idea, because I might forget it if I don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Yeah, and then I've got to get going after once you do write it down. I've got something I gotta go do.
No, Jade. No. No, 14 minutes. Maybe he's a slow writer. You know, to be fair, maybe he's a slow writer.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, got a pen right here. Yeah,
Okay.
Gary Yourofsky, The Most Important Speech, and
And Dominion documentary.
Dominion
I'll put 3
documentary.
things in the chat.
Sure. Thank you.
And then challenge 22, if you want to talk to a dietitian, but I mean, you don't need to talk to a dietitian. I didn't talk to a dietitian when I was vegan, but just if that would make you feel better about it.
Okay. Okay. Well, that might be something I'll look into. And do you live stream daily?
Yeah.
When I went vegan,
I
I had like I did like a Facebook post or something to announce it, and then I had some really nice couple reach out to me. I don't think I knew them, but they were somehow my friends on Facebook. And yeah, I don't even know how, but they reached out and uh took me to lunch, which was really nice, and they gave me a book that was like not a very well-known book, but it was about sort of the pitfalls to avoid on a plant-based diet. So I took that and read that. So that was handy. It's hard to even go back and think about that time period before, like, realizing that so much of it's just common sense, but before you know, it does seem like a big inaccessible world that you need a lot of information. So I sympathize, or I empathize with Michael a little bit. But yeah, I had a nice, I forget. I wish I had the book. I feel like I gave it away or something, so for someone else that could use it. Otherwise, I'd show it. Yeah, they were vegan, and they took me out because they wanted to like be really nice and help me out. Sadly, we never got together again. We should have. Oh well.
I live stream pretty often. Yeah, I put it in the chat, so if you want to screenshot the live so that you can remember. But yeah, I'm gonna. Thanks, Chin. I'm gonna get going now. I have something left to go do. But yeah, just remember, Michael, that you don't have to be the reason that this is happening anymore. And remember to think about things from the animal's perspective, because they don't deserve to be, like, you already agree, they don't deserve to be exploited to death by us.
No. Yeah, no, I'm kind of feeling a little more concerned about it all. I've never really been like an activist for the cause, so to speak, but maybe it might be something I can support, not only in action, but just sharing with others too. But again, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and your convictions with me, and obviously it really is a moral issue in a lot of ways. So again, thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's already in line with your beliefs. You already believe that we shouldn't be doing this. So, like, how many more animals will be exploited and oppressed because of you than you're in? And I can't control that. That's entirely up to you. And Michael, I really can't blame you for everything that you've done up until this point, because just like me, just like everybody else, you were conditioned by.
I think that Jade has a sense that this guy's just telling her what she wants to hear, because she doesn't seem satisfied with how he's responded to her so far.
Society to see animals as products, as resources. But now you're aware, now you're thinking about it. So
I do think he's being sincere, though.
now the responsibility lies on you to no longer exploit and oppress them, and align your actions with your beliefs by being vegan.
Well, I think you've convinced me to take action here. I mean, just I've never thought about it, so it's just really
Really new.
a drastic or rather dramatic lifestyle change, in
Seems
my
dramatic.
opinion. But like you said, sometimes that's what you have to do
Yeah.
if it's the right thing to do. So
Mm.
if it's the right thing to do, which, like you said, it really is.
Yeah.
And so,
Feel like a big change.
mhm.
It's not that big of a change. You know, like I'm sure most
It's
of
a
the
good
vegans
idea,
are
Alicia.
already
I should
vegan.
invite them out. If I can even remember, I will go back in time and find the Facebook post. And then I'm pretty sure that they respond. I can't remember if it was a message, like a private message, or they may have even written on the post or something. So I could go back in time. Yep, I could do that. I could do that. That'd be a really nice gesture, by the way. Yeah. Sometimes those really nice gestures like that can go a long way. Um, how old is Jade? Someone told me one time, Kane knew her age. They were similarly aged, like 22, 23, 21. I don't know. One of those, early 20s, early to mid 20s.
It's already plant-based. You know, most of our plants and staples are plant-based. Like people eat plant-based food all of the time, every day. I mean, unless you're on like the carnivore diet, like
Well,
or
I really don't eat a lot of meat these days, anyways. I mean, I have like a yogurt smoothie in the mornings with some eggs and stuff like that.
yeah,
But
so
I
you could
like
get
it.
some vegan yogurt. You know, you could get like you could still do the yogurt smoothies. I love like soy yogurt or coconut yogurt. You know, and you could do like a tofu scramble. You know, tofu scramble's
Mhm.
great. Well, the best part about
Or
this
tell him about the just egg. He'll like the just egg.
tofu scramble, of course, is that no chickens are being exploited for their ovulation cycle. And
Sure.
then, of course, also it's also good for you. It tastes good, and you're not consuming cholesterol.
Well,
I
yeah,
think the idea of tofu scramble sounds a lot less appealing when you're not vegan. But saying, oh, we've got just egg, we've got this like egg replacement that's pretty damn close and pretty damn solid, sounds a little more appetizing. There's a stigma with tofu. We just have to accept it. There's a tofu stigma. So, what are you going to do? Fly? Yeah, it's someone who lives at least in the state that I live in, I believe. But this was a long time ago, so I don't know. I think, I mean, it's been 7 going on 8 years now. So we'll see. But that is a nice idea.
that's definitely a lot of information to process through. You know, you
I
could
mean, but
probably
there's
make
not
a
much
good.
information to process. Because I have given you a lot of information. Yes, we've been talking for a while, but the concept is very simple. The concept is very simple. Like children can understand it.
Sure.
Exploiting animals is wrong, so we shouldn't do it, and we should be vegan. Right? That's all it is. We should respect animals, so we should not exploit them.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a major transformation if I decided to go vegan right now, immediately.
I think that's what she was hearing is like, geez, lady, what's your problem? She's hearing a little bit of discomfort with him, and then also this, wow, it's going to be a drastic change.
Like, well, yeah, that's definitely a major transformation if I decided to go vegan right now, immediately. Like, yeah, I'll I I will do my very best.
What's the delay? I don't know. Like she gave him a nice solution too, which is like, if your fridge is still filled with animal products, she doesn't care what you do with them. It doesn't matter at that point. You've already purchased them. So how is it that dramatic? It's really not that dramatic.
to go vegan.
Well, the thing is, we know tofu rules. We know that. I feel like I was liking tofu back in the day too. But I guess the idea of a tofu scramble, I got to be real with y'all. I'm going to be honest. The idea of tofu scramble has never appealed to me, even as a vegan. I love tofu, don't get me wrong, but tofu as like a scrambled egg replacement, I guess maybe I haven't had really good ones.
Yes, your very best is deciding to be vegan, Michael, because you can.
I've revealed something to y'all about a bit of a anti-tofu scramble bias. I hope that doesn't divide the community.
Well, mind over matter, right?
You absolutely can.
Yes.
Michael, I went vegan when I was 15 years old, and I was living with my parents who did not go vegan. You know, I was cooking for myself. I was vegan when I was living in my car. I was houseless, and I was vegan for 2 years. It's literally like, it's not even, it's so easy. Like, it's so easy because after I stopped eating animals and taking their secretions, it did feel kind of like a transition for a while. Like, it took some getting used to for maybe like a month or two. But after a while, it just came naturally. It just comes to me naturally now because I don't view animals as food anymore. I don't view their secretions as food anymore. I see them as individuals, and so it's just not an option to exploit them.
What are the health benefits of being vegan for you personally?
Well, vegan's not a diet, right? So there's not health benefits to being vegan because you can be vegan and just eat potato chips, right? And that's still vegan. It's just an ethical principle.
I did not speed up the video. It just started naturally speeding up.
There's not health benefits to being vegan because it's not a diet. Like I said, you could just eat potato chips and be vegan. I mean, evidence has shown that people that follow a plant-based diet, I mean, on average, they're like have a normal BMI range, which vegetarians and omnivore humans do not. People that follow a plant-based diet have been shown to live longer. They've been shown to be at a lower risk.
She should tell them about erections. Let them know, you keep eating those animal products, you're going to be soft. Nobody wants that. I think his ears will prick up if he hears about that.
Chronic diseases like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other chronic diseases. But
I just like to be real with people. If you continue eating animal products, you will drop dead. You will just keel over. Scientific proof that you will die. Guaranteed.
I'm not here to advocate for health benefits of a plant-based diet. I'm simply here to be a voice for the animals that don't deserve to be exploited to death. Like, I don't really care what you eat, honestly. If you want to be a junk food vegan and just eat crap, I don't care. If you want to be a super healthy vegan and do like a whole foods plant-based diet, which is like the healthiest diet you could follow, like, it doesn't make a difference to me. I mean, obviously, I think people should be healthy. That's good. But I'm just here to stand up for the animal victims that don't deserve to be exploited to death by us. So I think the easiest thing for you to do would be to keep the same diet that you have and just replace the animal products with plant-based foods.
Well, when I look at it,
Trying to be mindful of sometimes I'll notice that I've paused a video at an awkward time for the person where they're making some face. That's why I pause and then unpause and pause. Oh, y'all talking about someone. Well. What's up, Weevo?
from that perspective, it's not that dramatic of a
real
change to
quick.
make to my diet.
It's not, dude. It's not. She's made that point about 30,000 times already. Yep, but anyway, if y'all if y'all are just joining, I have down in the video description 5 vegan YouTube channels that we're trying to help reach 50 subscribers so that they can go live and join Project Livestream. So if y'all feel inclined, please do sub to those channels. We'll check them out a little later.
Overall, because like I said, I don't consume a lot of meat products myself personally, but if I decided to just do that, I'd probably even have to consider the hygiene products I use too, right?
Yeah.
What products?
Like products you buy at like any store.
And that's the easy part. That's the easiest thing. Oh, my soap's vegan. Okay, cool.
Or like for like washing your face with or shampooing your hair with. Are there any like companies that are vegan?
Oh, tons of them. Tons of them. Okay.
I mean, you're in the United States.
Yes. Like
I would just look it up. I would just look it up.
I can help you with that, Michael. There's a bunch of like toothpaste that are vegan, like Jason's, I think. It's got like the umlauts over the A. If you just go in your like a natural food store or something, you'll find like a billion of them. I mean, that's not to say that the major brands aren't also vegan, but I'm just not sure because I just go for products that explicitly say vegan on them and explicitly say not tested on animals, because that's another consideration with cleaning products or hygiene products. The soaps, there's like a million of them. For a while, I was getting one that was honestly a little too expensive, but the reason I was getting that soap was because they were not only vegan and cruelty-free, but they were palm oil-free as well. But then I found there were all kinds of soaps that you can get without palm oil. They're just made with like coconut oil that were cheaper than the one that I was getting. Shampoo, there's one called Desert Essence. There's one that's like, what is the one? There's like a seaweed one that's like uses some seaweed or something. Deodorant, there's like Schmidt's. They're vegan and not tested on animals, and they're pretty cool. But yeah, there's a ton.
Not in the United States.
Okay. I just didn't know if you were familiar with any companies out there that might promote like the vegan lifestyle.
PJ says Hawaiian Tropic is a vegan brand of sunscreens. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I would just look it up. Because yeah, like it just where I'm at, like it's pretty easy to find. Like
Well, yeah, if I was going to make the change, yeah. Well,
Start just saying, since I'm now vegan.
If I was going to make the change, I'd just I'm a bit of OCD about things, but if I went vegan, I'd just go all the way.
Yeah, there's no, like he's not getting it quite. He's kind of getting it, but he's
everything. Like your skin is your largest organ, so if I was truly vegan, I'd only want to consume products in that way, but also feeding my skin with vegan products as well.
Yeah, but that's about you, but he still hasn't shifted his mindset to thinking, oh yeah, what about the animals that were tested on or whatever?
It does. It's like I said, it's not a diet. It goes beyond diet. It's a decision to not exploit other animals. So yes, that includes products for your skin. That includes entertainment. You know, vegans don't go to the zoo or ride horses or exploit animals for any selfish reason.
Yeah, I like Desert Essence a lot. I think that's they're a cool brand. Yeah. But I mean, it's funny that he's telling her as though she doesn't know that he ought to get vegan soap as well. It's like, you know, well, listen, great. Sorry, why I say Grace, Jade, that yeah, it's not just about food. That's what she's been saying the entire time. Let's check out these channels again. We got Joanne Carey. Let's see where we're at. We might have maxed out our potential for today. But here's Joanne. Here's Calvin with vegan multitaskers. Not just Calvin. We're up to 54. That's cool. Here's protein deficient vegan up to 15. Let's see if we've changed it. Still 15. Okay. Some of these might not be able to reach the 50 by the next time, unless we get, you know, some good momentum going. Here's Fairy on Earth, vegan Fairy on Earth, up to 23, still 23. And Grace, 44. All right.
Well, my brother Ben, well, I grew up with 4 brothers. We were all homeschooled, but we played public high school sports and stuff like that, which was cool. But yeah, he trains horse. Well, he used to train horses and like work with animals and stuff like that. He actually won first prize in the interscholastic equestrian championships when he was in high school. But I mean, he's a horse lover. He had a horse called Rose. She was a nice horse, but yeah, I mean, personally, I've never really worked with horses myself, but like when it comes to raising farm animals and stuff like that, that's something that he was more into. But I can understand like what you're trying to say, just you know, have
respect, and exploiting them is not respecting them. And you know, if he is a horse lover and an animal lover, you know, you can be a voice for the animals, and you could maybe try to get him to go vegan or at least follow a plant-based diet. But yeah, so Michael, it sounds like you're pretty sure, like you see the injustice and you see the urgency of the injustice. So
He sees it conceptually, but I really hope he does watch Dominion.
gonna go vegan from now on, or are you gonna continue to exploit these animals?
Sure. I'll go vegan.
Yeah, sure is kind of not. It's kind of not an affirmative. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. And the fact that he keeps saying sure, I think, is why this conversation. I mean, that's one of the reasons why she keeps pressing him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great, Michael. And you know, you're not like giving me your word. You're giving the animals your word.
Yeah.
Well, you make a pretty good point of just trying to explain what the problem is, and it really is a problem because I feel like you would think that with technology, education, medicine, and everything improving nowadays, that that people would be happier and healthier, but it seems like it's sort of the opposite in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I mean it's true that animal products are horrible for your health. Like when you go vegan, you eliminate cholesterol from your diet. But like I said before, I'm not here to advocate for health. Honestly, if you want to be an unhealthy vegan and just eat chips and ice cream and like vegan ice cream, of course, and vegan pizza, I don't actually care. You do you. I'm simply here to stand up for the animals, like how I would want somebody to stand up for me. And you should stand up for them too, Michael. Don't be a silent vegan. You know, I was a silent.
I'm really glad that Jade's not judging me for the mini Reese's plant-based cups that I've been eating the past few days. It's a problem, guys. It's actually a problem. But once you eat one, what are you going to do? Be satisfied with one? No. No, it doesn't work that way. You must continue. I'm like Michael. Once I go in, I go all in. If I'm going to start eating Reese's plant-based cups, I'm finishing that bag. And it doesn't stop there. I'm getting another bag. Yeah. I just think sure is just kind of like, you can say that kind of dismissively, like, sure. Yeah, sure. Sure, Jade. I'll do that. Yeah, sure. It just doesn't sound like he's necessarily meaning it. Yeah, that's right, Brian. Got to finish what you start. Don't go half-assed into that bag of Reese's plant-based cups. Mm-mm. Who would respect that? Not me.
For the first like 6.5 years that I was vegan, and I regret it. I regret like excusing people's behavior to exploit animals and not standing up for them.
Yeah, there's certainly a way to go about it from a psychological perspective. Most people I know just consume meat like it's any normal part of their diet. But perhaps it might help me overall to feel better about myself and my body as well. I'll try and document the health benefits of it all, and if I get enough information to use to help others see that sort of way of thinking, because like I said, this is all new to me, really. So if I wanted to become more of an activist, not just someone that just is vegan, I feel like you said, it's not just a dietary thing, it's a lifestyle choice. So I'd really have to go all the way with it if
principle. Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, you brought up like you're documenting the health benefits, which I really do hope that this does amazing things for your health in the way that you feel. But I just want you to remember the benefit of going vegan is that you're not oppressing and exploiting animals, and that you can say that you respect them and you're not being a hypocrite. The benefit is, it's not about how it benefits you. You know, just like how deciding not to be like, it's just like how the benefit of not being a sexual abuser isn't about like not getting STDs, right? The benefit is that you're not exploiting other individuals. It's the same with veganism. The benefit, it's not about how it benefits you, it's about treating other individuals as individuals, not as a resource.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Nice job, Jade. Really nice job. Here's that video linked. Make sure you sub to Jade for Justice. She's knocking it out of the park. All right. Pulled up Chris Bryant, PhD, who's got some good news. That will be cool. And then maybe we'll help out this little channel, Earthling Ed, who I keep trying to give the bump to, but it's I haven't watched his take on 11 Madison Park. Yeah. But I don't know. Should we do it in reverse? This is good news. That's bad news. Bad. Well, should we start good or bad? Let's be realistic, okay? That's what we should do. We'll start with the good, and then we won't end on too much of a high. I'm saying that just because I've already got this pulled up. And I'm lazy.
Actually, Lidl's plant-based sales surpassed targets, shooting up nearly 700%. This is, I think, fair to say, a little bit surprising news. In the recent, market for plant-based meats, it's been no secret that sales of some of these products have been not as hot as they were sort of 5 years ago. And the interesting thing about this
It might be. Is it overstated, I wonder?
Is that they set this target, or rather, they set a target, I think, for 400% increase compared to 2020. So they set this target in 2020, which I think of as somewhere near the height of sort of plant-based mania for all of these kind of products, right, coming out. And the Burger King releases and the, McDonald's, I think, was a couple of years later, but there was a lot around 2020. And so I think that at that time, saying we're going to increase our sales by 400% by 2025 wouldn't have seemed crazy to say that at the time with all the hype. But subsequently, I wouldn't be too surprised to see producers, backing off that. And in fact, Tesco had a similar target, if you recall. I think they were going to have a certain percentage of their protein supply coming from alternative proteins or plant-based sources or something like that by 2030, that was. And they have, abandoned that and said it's not going to happen. But Lidl reporting much better news. Lidl GB has announced that it's exceeded its 2025 sales goal for own-label plant-based products, achieving a staggering increase of almost 700%. The discount store chain had originally set out to increase its sales of meat and dairy alternatives by 400% this year, but has revealed it smashed its target already with a 694% increase. This significant milestone is part of the supermarket's wider commitment to increasing its plant-based protein offerings, aiming for them to make up 25% of total protein sales by 2030. I read on another source that that figure was 11% in 2020 when they set the target, and then it's now up to 17%. I think I'm remembering those numbers right. So it looks like they're pretty much on target to get to 25% by 2030, which is fantastic. The success of the supermarket's Vermondo plant range has been a key driver, with sales of plant-based products outperforming meat alternatives. Okay. This must mean like other meat alternatives by nearly 20%. Are Vermondo not meat alternatives? I think they are, right? Oh, Vermondo plants, maybe not. Oh, okay. So these are more like falafel tofu. Okay, that's plant-based meat. Okay, so this looks like it's a bit of both. But anyways, their own brand stuff that has done really well, and I think it's because it's cheap as hell, right? It's cheaper in a lot of cases than the equivalent animal products. And now this is not necessarily the case for a lot of these alternative proteins, particularly kind of the brand names, right? There's a lot of pound for pound, they can be much more expensive still than their animal product counterparts. But yeah, the own brand ones, and especially the Lidl own brand ones, I guess are doing very well. New products with prices starting from £1.49. Not sponsored by Lidl, by the way, but just wanted to share this good news because it's against a backdrop, as I say, there's a lot of plant-based sales not being as hot as they were a few years ago. And here's Lidl, who had this target to increase their sales by 400%. and they've absolutely smashed it. They've nearly doubled it, with sales this stuff 700% up from 2020. So well done to Lidl, and it's a good beacon for beacon of hope for plant-based. We also had the return of the Greg's vegan steak bake recently, which was very exciting also. So, it's not all doom and gloom for vegan products out there.
That's right.
Actually, had another one here. Meat juggernaut JBS launches new plant-based company. This is today. The world's biggest meat company is launching a new leader in the European plant-based food. So this is actually a merger of Vivera and the Vegetarian Butcher. You might have seen either of those brands around. And it's now going to be the Vegetarian Butcher Collective. But it does say also in this article that they're going to be maintaining the separate brands. So you might not necessarily notice this on the shelves, but I think what it essentially is these companies are now
I
going
got
to
some
come
more good
together
news pulled up, guys.
and share
Just you wait.
technology, share resources, maybe
Just
the
you wait.
teams around and stuff like that. They're owned by the same company, right? JBS bought Vivera back in
Stay on some
2021
good news.
and bought the Vegetarian Butcher from Unilever earlier this year. So they're now going to bring them together, and the Vegetarian Butcher CEO Rutger Rosendahl says, "For me, this feels like the start of a bold new chapter, an opportunity to further accelerate the food revolution and release even more animals from the food chain by bringing tasty and nutritious products to consumers." So that's pretty pretty bold for a CEO who's just been acquired by the world's biggest meat company. More power to him, I guess. So this seems like good news. This is merger of the Vegetarian Butcher and Vivera under JBS, which some people might have something to say about that, right? I think that from my perspective, we have to allow these big food companies to stop doing animal slaughter and start doing something else. And so, I'm always one to celebrate the McDonald's plant-based burger, Burger King, whatever it may be. Okay, yes, these companies sell animal products and, primarily sell animal products. But if we don't sort of allow them to move towards plant-based, well, what else are they going to do, right? They're just going to keep selling animals and lobbying in order to be able to do so, right? What we want to be doing is making opportunities in this space look as appealing as possible for the likes of JBS, frankly. They're going to put a load of resources into this now, and they're aiming to become the top brand of meat alternatives in Europe. And good luck to them.
Good luck. Good luck then. Okay, here's the good news. Nice video, Chris. Check this out. During that, I was trying to find who's reported on this thing. Wisconsin dog breeding farm faces violation. Supervisors split on shutdown. This is about Ridgeland Farms, who was just fined more than $50,000, which I realize sounds maybe not enough. Let's see. Let's take a look. More than 300 violations, by the way.
It's about a Fox 6 investigation into a controversial Wisconsin dog breeding farm.
County supervisors have pushed to shut it down, but now, after a rare inside look, Fox 6 investigator Brian Polson shows us a new twist.
For years, these videos taken by animal rights activists in 2017 have been the only public window into Ridgeland Farms in Blue Mounds, Wisconsin, which breeds beagle puppies for scientific experiments.
It's terrific, in my opinion.
Outsiders have never been welcome until this week.
It's not great to see dogs in cages.
When a pair of Dane County supervisors got a private tour with one condition: no pictures or video allowed.
They will tell you.
Sure. Yeah. Come on in. Leave those cameras.
It's because these dogs are biomedical and they don't want their images out there. I would question that. I mean, a beagle's a beagle to most people.
Rick Rose and David Betcher are just two of the 37 supervisors on the Dane County board, and they're among a handful.
37? What?
who draft of the
What?
I mean, a beagle's a beagle to most.
What? Are you kidding me? Wait, what is
people?
Rick Rose and David Betcher are just 2 of the 37 supervisors on the Dane County Board, and they're among a
37? Jesus, I have never heard of something like that.
handful who drafted a resolution that calls on the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection to immediately revoke Ridgeland's breeding license and take the dogs into the state's custodial care.
Do you believe Ridgeland Farms should be shut down?
I do.
Rose said he was emotionally impacted by the stacks of cages housing dogs 24 hours a day.
You really can't take those dogs out to see sunlight, to touch grass.
Betcher had a different reaction.
For the number of dogs they had there, the facilities were very clean. They were well maintained. You know, it was as good as Dane County Humane Society.
Ridgeland Farms is
Oh
facing
my
more.
God, you fucked. Well, okay. Hold it in, Jeremy. Hold it in.
Than 300 violations of the state's animal health code, a potential fine of more than $50,000, and possible criminal charges. But Betcher appears to be wobbling on the resolution he helped write.
As we sit here today, do you believe Ridgeland Farms should be shut down?
I don't think they should be shut down.
Oh my God.
I think they need to be monitored.
Rose says his resolve hasn't changed.
It affected me to think these dogs will never see the light of day unless we're able to pass this resolution and move forward and open those doors.
We do now have some breaking news. Sponsors of the resolution now say they plan to ask for a postponement to rework their proposal, bring it back at a later date. Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection says unless Ridgeland agrees to a $55,000 fine for 311 code violations,
311 violations, $55,000. 311 violations.
will refer the case to the DA for prosecution. A special prosecutor is already investigating potential criminal charges. In the newsroom, Brian Polson, Fox 6 News.
Brian, what does Ridgeland Farms have to say about all of this?
Well, a Ridgeland attorney we talked to said the code violations are just that. They're allegations, and they dispute those allegations. He says the reason they don't allow cameras, by the way, is security. You can read their full response at fox6now.com.
You've shined so much light on this. We'll continue to follow this.
Wow. There's that video from Fox 6. What's up, Axel? Nice to see you. Let's make sure we keep encouraging these guys to that was weird. I liked it and it didn't go up. Fuck. Shut it down. And then here's another story about it. From WMTV, Blue Mountains dog breeder Ridgeland Farms facing $55,000 in fines after inspectors cite 300 plus violations. Huh? Okay. Newly released regulatory and inspection records detail more than 300 alleged violations at Ridgeland Farms, a Blue Mountains dog breeder that supplies beagles for medical research. Documents show the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection has cited Ridgeland for 308 counts of mistreating dogs and 3 counts of failing to perform required daily health checks dating back to 2022. A civil forfeiture of $55,000. So you abuse dogs for 308 counts of mistreating dogs cost you $55,000. That seems like that seems pretty wimpy. Ridgeland Farms has been given the option to agree to a civil forfeiture stipulation, which would resolve the violations without going to trial. If the facility accepts, it would be agreeing to the proposed penalties. If it declines, the case could move into Dane County Circuit Court, where the outcomes could vary. The Marty Project, if you're not following them on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Also, Dane for Dogs, activists that are staying on top of this. Among the findings, inspectors reported dogs with untreated injuries, including one beagle with a ruptured paw cyst and others with wounds that went unnoticed for days. They also cited repeated cherry eye surgeries performed without anesthesia, pain relief, or licensed veterinarians. Procedures veterinary experts have long considered malpractice that can leave dogs with permanent eye damage. Oh, man. 311 violations. What does it take at this point, she says, for this license to be revoked? I just don't understand how many more violations. Seriously. Just 311 violations. You guys ever been pulled over and the cop was like, you know why I pulled you over? And you were like, nah, officer. Well, you know, you committed 311 violations on the road. I don't think you're getting out of that one. 311 violations. In February, after years of pressure from activists like Dane for Dogs and the Marty Project, a special prosecutor was appointed to examine potential violations of Wisconsin's animal cruelty laws at Ridgeland Farms. A judge found probable cause to believe those laws were violated. More recently, Dane County supervisors, apparently there's 37 of them, my God, introduced Resolution 119, urging DATCAP to revoke Ridgeland's license and place the dogs into protective custody while investigations proceed. The board is expected to vote Thursday on the resolution. The enforcement conference, originally set for this week, has been rescheduled. Regulators say it will focus solely on the violations cited in the records and could result in additional penalties, including possible license action. So, yeah. Yep. All right. Here's the link to that story. Ooh, the link is massive. I don't even know if that's going to post. Let's try it. Well, yeah, sort of did. I guess. I don't know. Okay, I don't know how much of this video I'm going to watch because I don't care, honestly, about 11 Madison Park, but I'm curious what is Ed's take. I don't care about this upscale bougie shit, but
So
whatever.
the fine dining restaurant 11 Madison Park, which is in New York City, has just recently announced that they are going to be reintroducing meat back onto their menu. This follows in the footsteps of other previously plant-based restaurants and eateries which have made the same decision. But is there a message in all of this? Is there a warning that we as a community should be concerned about? What exactly do these recent examples of restaurants turning their back on plant-based eating tell us about the state of veganism? This is the Disclosure Podcast. Hello and welcome to the new in 2021, following the first year or so of the COVID-19 pandemic. And just before we dive into some of the statements they've made just in the past week or so, I want to highlight a statement they made back then, which alludes to why they made the decision to go plant-based in the first place. So this is from the owner of 11 Madison Park. I started to realize the impact that animal farming has all over the world. I started to realize what was going on in the fish industry and how broken it is. I started to feel guilty because I felt that for a long time, I didn't question enough exactly where our food was coming from. When you have that knowledge, you have the responsibility to speak about it. What's changed? What's different now? Why is this statement no longer relevant 4 years later? I mean, has there been some huge shift in terms of how we farm animals? Has the world completely altered? Has the planet been rescued from climate disaster? Is it now this sweepingly ethical system that we don't have to be worried about? What's changed in the past 4 years that would take us from a statement saying you have the responsibility to speak about it to, or we're going to be serving it and profiting off of this exploitation, off of this harm. So what exactly has changed? What is different now that would change the ethical responsibility that the owner, Daniel Hum, seemed to feel like he had 4 years ago? I would say nothing. So then the question becomes, why has this decision been made? So let's flash forward. That was 4 years ago. Let's flash forward to present day. And I'm going to read to you now the recent Instagram post that was published by 11 Madison Park. So the quote from the owner. Brace yourself. Change is fundamental to how we are and how we grow. As I approach my 20th anniversary at 11 Madison Park, I've decided it's time for change again. Hold on to that. It's time for change again. Starting October 14th, we will integrate our new culinary language, I mean, the language of violence, culinary language, into a menu that embraces choice. This word choice becomes a really weaponized word when restaurants start serving meat or introduce meat or reintroduce it again. Choice. They just love to emphasize this idea of choice. And we'll break that down in a moment. The quote goes on. We will offer a plant-based menu, but also select animal products for certain dishes, fish, meat, and yes, our honey lavender glazed duck. Eating together is the essence of who we are. And I've learned that to truly champion plant-based cooking, I need to create an environment where everyone feels welcome around the table.
Get fucked.
What a completely absurd statement to make that is. To champion plant-based cooking, I need to serve non-plant-based meals. Let's take an example of say Korea, South Korea. And let's say that we go back 10 years, okay? Let's say we go back 10 years and we as sort of people who don't want to eat dogs anymore, we want to shift this culture away from dog eating, say, how are we going to do this? Well, how about we create a restaurant and we serve non-dog meat dishes and we serve dog meat dishes? But then you go, well, if you want to see the end of dog meat farming, would you just not serve dog meat dishes? And you go, no. We have to bring everyone in. And the way to champion non-dog meat dishes is by giving people the option to consume dog meat. And so when people are eating dog meat, they'll feel like they're a part of this, this table. They've been invited to this table. And as a consequence, that's how we can elevate non-dog meat dishes. It just doesn't make any sense. If you have the feeling that something isn't good, that it would be better if the world didn't have it, how does profiting off of that thing help change it? If people don't want to eat plant-based food, serving them non-plant-based food is not going to make them want to eat plant-based food. How disingenuous, how cynical. I just find it so insulting that these people can make these statements and try and insinuate that this is something good for plant-based food. Oh, it'd be fantastic when people are eating the honey lavender glazed duck. Then we'll be truly championing the essence of plant-based.
I can't wait for a video where Ed just had it and he's just like, fuck right off. I couldn't imagine hearing that out of Ed's. I can't imagine hearing that. What's up, Victoria? I'm ready for that video.
Cooking. But the thing about plant-based cooking is everyone can eat it.
We actually value
In essence, it's the most
choice.
inclusive meal. Meat eaters can eat plant-based food, vegetarians can eat plant-based food, plant-based eaters can eat plant-based food. So it's actually the most inclusive dish that you can serve to someone. Now, if people don't want to eat it because it doesn't contain animal products, but that's an indictment on them. You know, if you're a meat eater,
The New York Times most
again, this is in
revealing
the New York
quote.
Times article, and it explains the ethical position.
By the way, fuck the New York Times. Just fuck right off, New York Times. They are always like, you know, every now and then you'll see an article that says, oh, meat is the scourge of the earth. And then you go on their Facebook and you can sometimes see them back to back where they'll have that story followed by, here's the best soup dish for your they just like tenderloin. It's bullshit. Fuck them. Soulless fucking corporate rag. Used to be a venerated paper. Get fucked. I don't really have much else to say to 11 Madison Park or the New York Times or all the hypocrites about this subject other than get fucked. Because honestly, giving them more attention than that,
let's say,
I'll let Ed do the work, but
the head chef. The New York Times article reads, "The move back to meat comes after months of contemplation that started in earnest earlier this year during a research trip to Greece." Now, that word earnest, I think, is doing an awful lot of heavy lifting. I think we all know the reason why this decision has been made. And I think the idea that it started in earnest during a trip to Greece and not when they were looking at the fact that their balance sheet maybe was lower than it was 8-9 years ago when they were serving meat before the pandemic. I think that might be a good indicator why they've started serving meat.
If you are a restaurant that is like a revered restaurant and you make the calculation to dramatically change your, whole philosophy, and you're not prepared to lose revenue, you're stupid. You're just stupid or full of shit. So sometimes taking an ethical stance has a downside to it in some other way, but who gives a fuck? Do the right thing.
I'm not sure if it started in earnest
Stupid
during
ass
a research trip to Greece. Anyway,
stupid ass
he and some of his
bougie
colleagues
bullshit
traveled
restaurant where you have to pay like $300 for a plate. No, not even if it's vegan. No.
Into the mountains to watch a shepherd slaughter a goat. And this is a quote from the head chef. "It's very moving, and there's such respect," he said.
Oh,
"If
I
you had
didn't
seen
read
the
this.
whole cycle, of course you would never waste a bite of this." I mean, the way that we kind of fetishize, that we romanticize, that we glamorize, that we almost worship the idea of this kind of humble shepherd living off the land, slaughtering a goat. I mean, I don't know the situation beyond this. And we know that the way that people talk about this is always so overindulgent. It's always sort of portraying this and that justifies fine dining. They will take on the actions of this humble shepherd and then use that to justify a fine dining restaurant in New York City, which is appealing to corporations that exists in food. And I think head chefs in these fine dining
That is
restaurants,
this
not all.
anecdote.
And I look forward to speaking to all of you. Cost of food is increasing, and the cost of
yeah, I think it's enough attention on them anyway. That's just why. I just was curious his take, but not 20 minutes curious. Not 20 minutes curious. There's that video. Yeah. All right, let's do one more time. Try to boost these channels one more time. Let's go through them one by one. So again, let's try to get some subs to these channels. Here's Joanne Carey. All right. And here is Vegan Multitaskers, Calvin. Okay. And here's Vegan Fairy on Earth. Okay. And here's Protein Deficiency. Okay. Protein Deficient Vegan. And here's Grace Plant. Sub to those 5 channels. They're in the description of the video as well. And we're going to write down, because the last time we did this, we got some of the channels over 50 subscribers. And then in the morning, all the channels had lost like 10 to 20 subscribers for some reason. So I'm going to document this. All right. So I'll give y'all a minute, and then we're going to go check out the final tally. And then I'm going to show y'all where we're at. Okay. All right. Y'all do your subs. You get the subs in. Let's start. Grace Plant. Let's refresh. Grace probably didn't gain many because I've already pushed her channel before. 45. Okay. Vegan Fairy on Earth is at 26. Okay. Protein Deficiency is at 17. Calvin and Multitaskers is at 56. Joanne Carey is at 21. Okay. All right. Grace started at 42. She's now at 45. Fairy started at 17. She's now at 26. Protein started at 10. He's now at 17. Vegan Multitaskers, 48. They're now up to 56. So they should be able to go live. Joanne Carey went from 19 to 21. And we had promoted Joanne before, so it's not surprising. So I'm going to call that the final tally. So I'm going to check this tomorrow and see if they dropped. But as of now, Calvin should be able to go live. And he got boosted up by 8. Vegan Fairy on Earth boosted up by 9. So she's halfway there. So anyway. Grace is up to 45. She's close. I think the next live stream is scheduled for like the 20-something. I can't remember. So there's time. But yeah, we'll check tomorrow and see. I'm very curious what will happen. All right, guys. I'm a little sleepy. So I'm going to end the stream here. Yeah, that's right. They're scared of the Jeremy bump. They're trying to diminish my bumps. Well, you can't do that. My bumps only get more as I age. I get more and more bumps. You can't diminish my bumps. What are you, some kind of skin cream? You ain't a skin cream. All right. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Don't try to take away my bump, YouTube. YouTube? Hang on. YouTube. Don't take away my bump. Don't take away my power. 26th. There's 22 days for people to be part of the Project Live Stream 3. Shout out Mel and Steve. All right, guys. I'm going to take off. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for everybody being here, and I'll see you in the next one.